Welcome to the first of three podcasts. We are going to look through early Christian after Jesus' death of what it was like to be a Christian during the early stages of a Catholic faith. First, we're going to look at the pillar of the church, St. Peter and Paul. So, first of the two that I want to talk about is St. Paul. So, St. Paul went through a conversion, and this is how he started to fall into the faith. So, during his lifetime, he took three missionaries. His first missionary took him to cities nearest to Antioch. His second journey took him farther afield to cities present-day Greece, and on third journey, he revisited many of the places he had evangelized on his second journey. So, as he went through these cities and towns, he met many new Christians that were starting to fall into the faith and that he brought into the new faith after Jesus' death. So he wanted to keep in touch with them, so he wrote letters. And these letters are very important because we still use them today and we read them in our liturgy today. So we thank him for some of the letters that we have in our Bible. So now I want to talk about Peter, our first pope. And we know he was our first pope because it says in Matthew chapter 16, verse 18, "And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." Now this is important because it shows that the church will be built upon Peter. And we could see this in the early Christians writing, like the letter of Paul and the Acts of the Apostles, that church shows that Peter is the leader of the church. From the beginning, he moves the church forward. For example, he chooses a replacement for Judas, and his advice is accepted. Now, this is very important because they could tell that he's a good leader. He is a role model, even though the rest of the apostles acknowledge Peter's leadership role. And through this, the church was built on Peter. Thank you for listening. This concludes our first of three podcasts.